Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Experience podcast, inside the business, buzz, and brilliance of Black entrepreneurs. Here is your host, Dr. Frances Richards.
What happens in Vegas goes all over the world on Black Entrepreneur Experience, episode number 207. Thank you for joining us as we elevate the Black Entrepreneur Experience by interviewing CEOs, thought leaders, innovative thinkers, and Black entrepreneurs across the globe. I'm your host, Dr. Frances Richards. Do you want to know the secret formula to a fruitful life or the 6 steps to start a new path? You're in the right place. Our next guest is author, motivational speaker, founder, and CEO of The Call Path, Byron Jamal. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on today. How are you today?
I'm absolutely perfect. How about yourself?
Doing great. Thank you so much.
I have given our audience such a brief bio about you, Byron. Why don't you fill in the gaps and share with our audience what you'd like them to know about you and your business?
Absolutely. Well, I am a love coach and a success coach who helps people to find extraordinary love and success on their ordinary path. Every day I help people to be able to find and equip themselves with the tools that help them step into a better life.
Now, when you said love coach, I know a lot of ears are perking up and they are sitting straight up and they want to know more. How did you become a love coach and what does that entail?
Absolutely. Well, I am a former pastor. I do believe all pastors are called to be love coaches, helping to connect people who are finding love inwardly, upwardly, and outwardly. I am doing that every day, but just not with the traditional pulpits. So I am helping people find love with themselves, with others, and with their spiritual source.
We're in the midst of COVID-19 and talk to someone in our audience that's struggling with self-love and finding that fruitful life in this moment.
So we're trying to find in this season a better way to connect with ourselves and connect with our spiritual source. It is difficult because we're having to identify more about ourselves because we're having to really address more of who we are. Focusing on yourself is very difficult when there's no noise and no distractions. But when you have all of those distractions and all of the noise of the world, you're easily able to drift off and focus on things that are happening all around you. Right now, we're not doing that. That's a good thing, though, for us. Most people are saying statistically that they are actually falling in love with themselves more now than they ever have before. The good thing about this moment, the good thing about this time, is that you're actually able to see what you love, what you need, and what's most important to you on this journey. And what I do is help people find the source inside of all of that to be able to say, I love this person, or maybe this person's not right for me. I love myself, or maybe I thought I actually had this all together and I've actually had this thing all wrong. My part in helping people find their path is to find love along the way.
We're going to put that in action. We're going to role play. And so I've come to you for coaching. What would happen on the other side?
Absolutely. So we would first identify what your 1 to 3 major goals are. Everybody has major goals that they want to accomplish when they come to me. So if it's finding personal love, self-love, if it's being able to figure out why love is not attracting to you, and so doing the homework of finding out what is limiting you from attracting the love that you deserve, or if it's being able to figure out why love you already have is not being maximized in your life. Any one of those 3 things, I help people figure out. We figure out those goals, we attach those goals to your process, and we accomplish them by the end of our journey.
Byron, what are you most grateful for right now in your life?
I am most grateful for having found out that love is possible. In my life, I realized that there are so many people who are lost and despondent because they haven't found the true love of their lives. They have been able to find success. They've been able to find money. They've been able to find houses. They've been able to find beautiful cars. They haven't been able to find the self-love that makes living worthwhile. And I am most grateful for finding that because it matters the most.
You've authored some books. Share with our audience about your books.
Absolutely. The first book I'll tell you about is my novel called Unlovable. It's a novel about a pastor, a stripper, and an athlete that all have different issues that make them feel unlovable. And it's their journey of how they find love with each other and themselves. The pastor is dealing with alcoholism and the death of his father. The stripper is dealing with finding out she has communicable disease and how that happens with her trying to raise a child as a single mother. The athlete is dealing with HIV and dealing with his own sexuality. And so all of them are dealing with things that make them feel like they are unlovable in a world where all of us should feel lovable every day. I am here to help people feel lovable, and that's what that book does. I have another book out right now that's called Successful Love. Oh, this book is helping so many people because all of us want to love and be loved. I'm helping people because this book goes through the 6 phases of love: singleness, dating, relationships, engagement, marriage, and unfortunately for some, divorce. All 6 phases encompass potentially someone's love journey. I do say that divorce is really emotionally the same as a breakup. So when somebody reads that, they can actually find healing and wisdom inside of the book because it helps them figure out how to rebound after a hard breakup. From singleness to divorce, that's what the love journey is. And the last book I'll tell you about is my affirmations book, Unlovable Affirmations. It helps people find 30 days to find more love in their life. I believe that what you speak in your life is what you'll see in your life. So I help people have positive affirmations by speaking love, more love into their world.
Talk about your journey going from a former pastor to a coach.
I love being a coach now, and I am so glad that I let go of pastoring. I'll tell you something. I pray for every pastor every day. It is not an easy role. In fact, it's probably one of the hardest things that anybody has to do. Even nurses and teachers, with all of the PPE that they have to deal with on a daily basis, nobody has a harder role than a pastor because we are dealing with people's spiritual lives. And often people who have much hypocrisy about their own lives every day. They're trying to tell people that they are perfect when in fact they know that at their homes and on their base level, they're living imperfect lives. So I am now free from having the pulpit behind me, having the title of pastor, which ultimately says perfection. I am able to help people on an average, everyday basis, on a real level where I can impact change in people's love lives. And I love it.
Talk about the story behind you making that decision to leave the pulpit and take I don't know if we want to say a traditional or non-traditional way to still accomplish your ministry.
Leaving the pastoral role was one of the best decisions I made for my own life. I talk to many pastors who are struggling every day to try to lead congregants who really, they don't believe the thing that they're preaching. Many of them are much more liberal than what they teach in their pulpits. But because their congregants can't handle what they would want to teach, they end up sacrificing their own personal ministry for the public message. I left that because I wanted to be able to say whatever I needed to say to help people find love in their lives. My message is able to now to go to the most disenfranchised people that the church would push away. I can talk to the stripper. I can talk to the LGBT member. I can talk to those who are in the streets and those who are the most poor in our community. Yeah, unfortunately, the church still is not in a space to accommodate these people in a very welcoming way. While the church is a hospital, unfortunately, it's the only hospital where you have to come in not sick. And I'm glad to help people who are sick and who are looking for love. That's what I'm able to do in my ministry.
Talk about your top two influencers and what lessons do they teach you?
The top two people I love to listen to, if I could listen to them all day, number one would be Les Brown. His story of rebounding as a young man who grew up in a home with a single mother who was struggling to help grow young Black people in the house is inspiring. He often talks about how his mother would try to inspire him and push him to be great, even though he had learning disabilities and was trying his best as a young Black man to find his way. I identify with that. As a single Black man who is a person who is adopted, I understand having a family that is trying to figure out you while you figure out yourself. I also love Lisa Clinton. Her story of being able to raise a young Black woman while being a mother of a strong Black woman. Look, it's not easy to raise a Black child today. And I honor people, I honor Black women and men who are able to have children today, who are able to raise them in a single family environment and still find success. Her story of being able to raise her child and still operate on a level of speaking professionalism where she is able to go in corporations and speak and lead is inspiring. Those two people actually inspire me to do great and amazing things with their stories. So I appreciate them every day.
Talk to a younger Byron. What advice would you give to a younger you?
If I were talking to a younger me, I would say, look, don't spend so much time worried about what other people are thinking. Focus on your journey. Love your process. Appreciate your path. Don't allow anyone to tell you you're on the wrong road. They don't know your journey. They don't know your process. They don't know your path. Appreciate it for what it is and take in the inventory of what the journey is bringing. Don't focus on what other people are trying to bring to you. Focus on what God is bringing to your path. And that will lead you to great places.
Byron, there are so many businesses and brands that are successful. Talk about a brand or a business that's dominating that you admire and why.
There are so many great brands out there, so many great people who are building something that's an extension of themselves. But one of the best brands that I could identify with, if I really, really had to, would be that of Nike. The interesting thing about Nike and their symbol is about just do it. Interesting thing about that is the ability to say, in the midst of everything, no matter how hard things may get, attached to what is pushing you ahead and promoting you forward. I believe in being yourself, standing authentically in your truth, and saying, I will, no matter what, just do it.
What can we do right now to support Byron, your business?
Well, I am a proponent of love. I do say that God is love. Well, I don't say it. The Bible says it. God is love. So the easiest way to support me and my mission of love is actually just to love your neighbor, love yourself, love your community, love where you are, love your process, love your path. That's the easiest way to promote what I'm trying to do. Because my goal in the earth is to help everyday people find extraordinary love. Now, if you wanted to more identify with what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, you could easily just say, go to byronjamal.com, find me, and endorse my books, support my courses, and talk to me when I go live on my different platforms. All of it, though, is really pointing you back to more self-love.
Byron, what do you do when you hit that bump in the road? How do you reset and readjust?
The good thing about life is that we will have many bumps in the road that will teach us how to overcome more bumps in the road. I don't care how focused you are. I don't care how well your life is going. There will be things that don't fit along your path. Being able to learn from the last bump helps you with the next bump. And I help people to learn from the process. I actually teach that your baggage is your blessing. The more experience you can learn from the things you've been through will actually help you along your path. So learn from the things you've endured, gain knowledge from the wisdom that you have encountered, and thank God for the things you've endured. They make you stronger. They make you better. They make you wiser. They make you just overall an amazing person. Love your process. You'll find your way every day from there on.
What book would you recommend and why?
If I could recommend any book, it would actually, fortunately now be my new book, Successful Love. For many people, it is now their love Bible. It helps anyone, no matter where they are on their love journey. A single can pick this book up and find more healing about where they are in their singleness. Someone trying to figure out who they would date can find this book and actually find more help along their journey. Someone in a relationship can find more foundation of how to build a better and healthier relationship. Someone who is trying to figure out how to be engaged or married will be able to figure out how to find love and more commitment along the way. And for those who are dealing with heartbreak through divorce or a very bad breakup, there's healing and there's an answer in this book. This has become, for many people, a love Bible. And I'm very grateful to say that it just so happened to be produced by me. So Successful Love would be the thing that I would say pick up because it will help you along your path.
Byron, how did you raise the capital to start your business?
My business, fortunately, didn't require much. It required my fortitude, my consistency, and my ability to say, I will help people no matter who they are. It didn't take much other than my commitment to saying the hours that needed to be available would be available. And I opened up my heart and I opened up my phone line to do so. Once I did that, people started ringing and the business started coming. People want love and they need it. Didn't take much other than saying yes to the process.
And what is the goal for the future of your business?
The goal is more love, more acceptance, more self-love. The ability to say yes to the process, yes to the journey, yes to what is and what is to come. I am grateful that my business is able to be self-sufficient. As I write more books, I'm able to reach more people. And much of my business is more books and more courses that allow people to access what I know and what I teach without me having to be present.
Talk about the course. Do you have more than one course, or is the course centered around the books?
So my course right now that I have is actually centered around dating. It's the ability to find love at first swipe. So it teaches people how to find love in online dating apps. That course is fundamental for a lot of people in this generation who use apps to find relationships and to date now. The courses that I'm going to offer next, while they fit that demographic, will definitely be centered more around self-love. My next course I'll be offering will actually be centered on how to maximize the 6 keys to self-love. I'm actually really excited about that because for a lot of people, self-love, even in relationships, is the biggest challenge they face.
Is there a social cause tied to your business?
The social cause, I would say, is love. And that sounds generic, but it's absolutely necessary. In a society like today's, where we have so much division in our political parties, so much division in our churches, we still have churches that are divided. As Martin Luther King said, the most segregated day of the week is still Sunday. That's sad, but love fixes all of that. So my cause is love. My cause, my agenda, my focus is helping people find love easily, simply, in extraordinary ways.
Let's shift gears for a moment and let's talk about the worst moment in business or in life. Tell us the story.
My most extraordinary moment, which many would consider troublesome in business or in life, was the moment that I attempted to commit suicide. It was the saddest moment of my life, but the most revelatory. It helped me realize in that moment as I stood on a diving board, unable to swim, on a school trip, just went to Disney World, supposed to be the happiest place of your life. Leaving that, having sung with my choir, with my school, standing on that diving board at a community pool. We stopped at the McDonald's and I just couldn't do it anymore. Life didn't feel relevant. It didn't feel necessary. It didn't feel good. And I decided it was time to end it. There was no more points of living. Many of us are in those points. What's the point of living when you're in a dead end job? What's the point of living when love just isn't coming your way? What's the point of living when it seems like you're going in a cycle? It's leading you to a dead end. Well, I found hope in that, and I realized that there is always hope in the dead because dead ends are direction, they're guidance, they are answers. In fact, dead ends are the moments that say, hey, stop. There's nothing else here for you. Go a different direction, and you'll find more life. And so I am now where I used to believe that dead ends were my problem. I realize that dead ends are my blessing. And I thank God for the moments that can be most difficult. And I am most grateful for the moments that seem most challenging because they are offering guidance to find better paths, paths that lead to light and to love, paths that say there's a detour here. Don't go this way. This will lead to destruction. Actually, go this way because this path is actually better for you. May take a little longer, may be more uncomfortable. It may lead you in a way that you weren't expecting, but it will lead to life. And so while that path was difficult, it led me to a better place. And often for many of us, things that hurt us and are most uncomfortable that we don't tell other people is actually our greatest glory because we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
Thank you for being so transparent. When it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered? Talk about your legacy.
If I could be remembered for anything, it would be that he loved, he was loved. We all want to love and be loved. We all want to have the experience of encountering love in our presence and to give love from our source. And if I could say anything, if anyone could say anything about me, I just want them to say he loved and he was loved.
Byron, talk about that aha moment when you found out that you found love.
I realized I found love on that diving board. I realized that love was present because I didn't want it in that moment. Couldn't see it. I couldn't find it. It seemed far off, too far off for me. And I realized that the love that pulled me off that diving board, that saved my life, was the same love that was actually present. I just couldn't see it. And I realized that love is all around us. It's in everything that we touch, everything that's created, every app that we use, every phone that we call people on is made with love. Seeing love is an option, it's a decision. And I am grateful that I now see love in everything because everything was truly made, the love of the creator who made it. So love for me is in everything. And I'm finally seeing how powerful seeing it can be.
Byron, what do you need right now that you don't have to move you to that next milestone?
What I don't have right now is a great question. I am aware of what I do have, which is great friends, great family, great support, great energy, great passion, great drive, great commitment. What I don't have is an understanding of what tomorrow brings. And I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with this moment. I am pleased with what's here. And I am very welcoming of the presence of my present. So While I may not have the understanding of tomorrow, I am very grateful for all I have right now. And whatever level comes, I'll be grateful for it when it arrives.
Talk about the person in your lineage that has given you the most inspiration.
I have to think, I can't just give you one with that because both of my parents have offered uniquely different inspiration, but equally inspire my soul. For my mother, as a woman who grew up in Philadelphia and understood that she was adopted as I am, I appreciate her loving nature and embracing the womanhood that she has, but also embracing the unique lineage that she carries of two families, the family that birthed her and the family that loved her. For my dad, a Jamaican man feels like he escaped from a poor Jamaican town. I appreciate his dedication to work and his work ethic, the effort that he puts into being a Black man in a world that doesn't often appreciate him.
Talk about your greatest achievement so far in your life or business.
Well, my greatest achievement is finding the love for myself. So many things that I could attribute, so many plaques and awards, so many degrees I could list. But the greatest achievement in my life is being able to say I love myself and being awarded my life with light and love. I would take nothing from it.
Byron, if someone spent the whole day with you, what is something that we would learn about you that we don't know about Byron?
That while in interviews, I can be poised and intelligently speak. The truth is that I am extremely silly, goofy to no ends, and love all forms of cartoons. I think they express the simplest part of what I feel about life, which is life is not hard. It is meant to be enjoyed. It is meant to be loved. It is meant to be lived in the simplest forms. And we overcomplicate it by trying to be something that is more difficult than what it deserves. I love to laugh because laughter is the simplest form of who we are. It says, I am here, I am now, and this moment is enough. I believe in that.
Byron, what drives you to continue to do what you do every day?
My work drives me towards people who are often left behind, people that don't feel like they're enough. I deal with a lot of people who felt criticized and ostracized, judged, left behind. My work pushes me because there are people who feel like love is not enough. They don't believe in love anymore. They feel like love is not possible because of where they are, where they've been, how old they are, how long they've been looking. It pushes me because I know that love has no limits. And to see people believe that limits are a necessity for their life is painful because I've done it myself. I just want to help people. And that's what drives me, to know that I've helped someone overcome the limitations of love that they held in their head and in their heart.
Looking back, are you proud of the man that Byron has become?
I would teach anyone to be proud of the person that they are because we've all come from some place that wasn't where we wanted to stay. Yes, I'm proud. I'm no longer crawling as an infant. I can speak better than I did as a child. I have more cognitive ability than I did as an adolescent. I am more focused than I was as a teenager. I am much more driven than I was as a young adult. And I have more purpose than I was as a man in my early 20s. I am very grateful for my journey, and I know that the person I am, I will look back 10 years from now and say I am grateful for the transition I've made from here. But I am glad for the journey, and I am grateful for this process, and I take nothing from it because who I am today is based on all the things I've learned from my yesterdays.
What problem exists in the world today that you would like to solve?
If I could wave a magic wand and solve one thing, it would be people not loving their process. It's so hard sometimes to understand that your path is unique and that you will have to go a course that no course, no instructional video can direct you on. It's so easy to say, well, they did it, but them doing it will never look like you doing it. And so for me, I am just glad to be able to say, and I'm doing all right.
What, if anything, keeps you up at night?
Nothing keeps me up at night. Part of my self-love process is being able to sleep. It's being able to say, what is will be, what I can change, I will, and what I can't, I will let go of. So I sleep well in the most difficult of times because in order for me to process life, I must be fully alert and aware of what life is in my present moment. So I sleep and I sleep well in all moments.
Talk about self-care. What does self-care look like to Byron?
Well, society would tell you easily that self-care looks like manicures and spas. It looks like getaways and retreats. But I've learned that self-care is more about what you speak into your life. It's more about being kind to yourself, telling yourself that it's okay to be human, to fail, to not get it right, to not make the best decision. And sometimes you will be ashamed of the decision you made in a moment, that you will be a little too loud, that you will get a little too aggressive, that you will be too passionate, that you will regret the response you gave in a heated moment. So self-care looks like saying, it's okay. And I think we could all do that. We would be happier, more happy than any spa or manicure or pedicure could ever give us, any more fulfilled than any massage could ever leave with us. I am very assured that loving on yourself and being kind to yourself, showing that self-love is actually the best self-care that you could ever give.
What have you not done in life that you dream about often?
You know, I still dream of jumping from high planes. It's a weird fascination. I don't know where it came from, and I don't know why it won't leave because it's the most insane thing I could ever think of in my life. Like, why would I want to jump from a plane? But I think there's this understanding that it is not only possible, but other people have done it. Knowing that something is possible and not have done it fascinates me. Knowing that it is possible for other people to have accomplished it and knowing I haven't says, there's something else you could still do. That's a beautiful thing, though. It speaks to the bucket list that I love about life, that there are still things that you can have on a list and make you want to live a little longer. So, yes, jumping out of planes. I still don't understand. But yes, that's my thing.
What can you do daily to be better?
First of all, getting up early will help you without question because just starting your day a little earlier than other people are up allows you the quietness to find yourself, center yourself, ground yourself, and really understand that life is bigger sometimes than the people that you will interact with in the course of the day. So I start my day off early. That helps me understand that life is good. And from there, I make decisions that allow me to find love and receive love. I think everything else falls in that. And those are the things that are most important.
Byron, if you conducted this interview, what is the one question you would have asked yourself? I want you to ask the question and answer it.
The one question I would ask myself is, are you okay being Black right now? Especially a Black male. And I would say fundamentally yes, although it's difficult, although it's troublesome sometimes. It's good trouble. It's good trouble. In the words of our dear fallen brother. Look, I am aware that being a Black man today is difficult, and being Black in general is not easy. To live up to a mantle, to have to think daily about your ability to be something, not just to be human, not just to be alive, but have to live up to a standard every day that's bigger than you. It's a lot to ask of someone. It's a lot to demand of a human being to live up to something every day that's bigger than you. Our white counterparts don't have to do that. They just get to be. We have to live up to something every day. We have to live up to a legacy. We have to live up to a heritage. We have to live up to what our ancestors fought for us. I think it makes us stronger. And I am okay with that. I'm okay with being stronger because I have to be. I'm okay with being more focused because it's necessary. I'm okay with being more driven because that is what my ancestry would ask of me. Yes, it's more weight, it's more of a burden, but it is the best part of us. It calls us to say yes in times when others would say, maybe. It forces us to say, I will, when others could say, I might. So being a Black male is difficult. It is challenging. It is scary, especially in this time in society, but it is probably the best thing to be right now if you want to succeed and if you want to do great things, because you have no choice when you are.
Byron, we've come to the part of our interview. It's called Fun Facts Lightning Round. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to give me very quick answers. If there's something you desire not to answer, feel free to say pass. Are
Sure.
you ready for the Fun Facts Lightning Round?
Go for it.
The last movie you saw?
Ooh, last movie was actually, funnily, Power, what's the name? Power something. Power Principle. It was with Jamie Foxx, and it was on Netflix. It was about being able to take a pill that would give you a certain power for 5 minutes. It could kill you, but it also could increase your skills. Very interesting premise. Great movie. Well done.
You relax doing what?
I relax, putting my feet up and watching that type of movie.
Your favorite singer or rapper?
Will always be Luther Vandross. Hardworking man, and built his career based on hard work and coming up through the ranks. Gotta support that.
Your favorite dance song?
Dance. Ooh, if I were to dance to a song, I would say September or Earth, Wind and Fire. Gotta love it.
What food you eat every week, no matter what?
Cereal. Gotta have cereal in your life. There's something human, just fundamentally human about cereal.
Your favorite month?
November, the month I was born. Gotta love November. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. I feel three little bears in my spirit.
Work out or hit the couch?
Work out. Work on something. I don't know what it is, but on the couch, no. Always in my office. Gotta make something happen.
What was your first job?
First job was at Hardee's. I was making fried chicken. Very interesting job. I pray for everyone in fast food.
Byron, thank you so much for joining us on Black Entrepreneur Experience Podcast. Before we let you go, why don't you share with our audience the best way for them to connect with you and do business with you? And feel free to give all your social media handles.
Fundamentally, thank you so much for allowing me to come on this podcast. Thank you for allowing me on this platform. I am Byron Jamal. You can find me at Byron Jamal. I am on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can also reach me at byronjamal.com. Easy to find, easy to respond to. I am just trying to help ordinary people find extraordinary love. So wherever you are and whatever you're enduring and whatever you're going through, please reach out, because we have, and I will say this to anyone and everyone, we are taught to gain instruction when we are struggling with a course or trying to learn something. We gain knowledge before we get a job. We are given training for an occupation. Doctors and lawyers are expected to go and get an education. We are trained on just about everything, but no one teaches us about love. So stop winging it. Find somebody that can teach you how to love better, more authentically, more transparently, and give more vulnerability. I promise you, it will help you find more successful love. So find me as a love coach, a love and success coach. I promise you, will be the best thing you did for your life. Stop wasting money on bad dates and failed relationships. It's more costly to have a divorce than to have the right one. So find me, byronjamal.com.
Thank you, Byron. That's a wrap.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening and subscribing to Black Entrepreneur Experience. We would love for you to leave a review and rating on iTunes and share with your friends. For show notes and more episodes, go to www.beepodcast.com. Join us next Wednesday, and remember, green is the new black. So keep your bank accounts and your business in the black.